saying you helped bake it? Which one is it? Renee's smile wobbled. Her eyes moved to Sadie and I saw surprise behind them. She had her whole defense built for me. She was not expecting Sadie. Renee recovered fast, tilting her head with a patient look. I was just simplifying things at the party, she said, smooth again. I did not want to get into the whole story. Sadie did not blink. What whole story? Sadie said. You told Thisbe to go to a bakery that never made this cake. The room shifted. People were remembering. The confusion. The week Thisbe wasted chasing something that did not exist because Renee could not stop lying. It was all coming back, and it was landing on Renee. She was losing the room. I set my fork down and looked straight at her. My voice came out calm. Renee, you did not help with this cake. You did not help with the one at your party either. I made both of them alone, from a recipe I have been working on for 2 years. You know that. Renee opened her mouth, but I kept going. At your party, you told everyone it was from Sweet Bay. When I said I made it, you told me I was making a scene. Then you got the family to tell me to apologize to you. And now you are sitting here saying you helped bake it. So which version is the truth, Renee? Her face flushed, this slow wave of pink spreading up her neck to her ears. She tried to laugh, a short breathy sound too tight to land. You are blowing this so out of proportion, she said, waving her hand. I was just being a good host. I did not think you would want people bugging you about recipes all night. I shook my head, slow and steady. That is the third different reason you have given, I said. First it was Sweet Bay, then it was protecting my recipe. Now it is being a good host. You just keep changing the story because the real reason is that you did not want people knowing your sister made something better than anything you could buy. The room was completely still. Thisbe was watching, arms folded, not stepping in. She was letting it happen. Then one of the older relatives, the same one who had told me to apologize after Renee's party, looked down at her plate and said quietly, she did tell me it was from a bakery. I remember now. Another relative nodded, slow and heavy, the kind of nod that says, yeah, I was there too. And right there, the wall Renee had spent weeks building came apart, not with a crash, piece by piece, lie by lie, one quiet admission at a time. Renee's eyes got glassy. She pushed her chair back hard enough that it scraped the floor and stood up. Her hands were shaking at her sides. Fine, she said, her voice cracking. You want everyone to know you baked a cake? Congratulations, you baked a cake. Is that what you needed to hear? She said it like she was shrinking the whole thing to nothing, making me look like someone who threw a fit over flour and eggs. I did not flinch. I looked right at her. What I needed was for my sister to not lie about something I worked hard on, and then make me the bad guy for saying so. That is all I ever needed. Renee stared at me for a long moment, but nothing came. For the first time in my life, Renee had nothing to say. She grabbed her purse, walked to the counter, picked up her bakery box, and walked to the front door without saying goodbye. She did not hug Thisbe. She did not wave. She just walked, heels clicking, box tucked under her arm like evidence, and the door closed behind her with a soft final click. After the door closed, the room exhaled. Thisbe reached over and took my hand and squeezed it. Sadie leaned forward and said, that was a long time coming. Then the older relative, the one who had told me to apologize, got up and walked over. She stopped next to my chair and put her hand on my shoulder. I am sorry I told you to drop it, she said, her voice soft. I should have asked more questions. I looked up and nodded. It is okay, I said. You know now. She patted my shoulder twice and went back to her seat. Thisbe's husband looked around and said, can I get a second slice of that cake? And a couple people laughed, the real kind of laugh that comes when the pressure breaks. Thisbe smiled and got up to cut him another piece, and the evening started moving again. People started talking. Forks started moving. Someone brought up an old road trip story, and the table picked it up and carried it forward. The cake sat in the center of the table, half of it gone, the handwritten card still leaning against its base. My name in Thisbe's handwriting, right there for anyone to see.